you. So hi, this is Latasha. She has been a member of the Scoliosis Strength Collective pretty much from the beginning. I was doing some one-on-one sessions for a while with clients prior to meeting and kind of working with Latasha in a different capacity. So she's been in the program for about 8 months now, and I think we're going on 9 months, but she's just going to share a little bit about her experience working together and kind of jump in. So Latasha, where were you with your scoliosis before we started working together?
Not in a great place. So when we first started working together, it was because I was having back spasms like every day. I had been to the doctor and they had said that it was unrelated to my scoliosis, and I had tried PT and that had just made it worse. And honestly, I didn't even know that my scoliosis was the problem. Like I thought that I had something wrong with like my lower right back. I had no clue. And then I stumbled across you working with a client, and you had just answered all of these questions that like I didn't even know that I had about, the pain and things that were actually going to be hurting it worse than you would think. I had been doing yoga for like 3 years before I started working with you, and I was always so frustrated because I felt like I hurt myself worse after yoga, and I could never figure out why. And then started looking at all the stuff that you do, and I was like, oh, this is why. But yeah, we started working together in January of 2020 or 2021.
2021.
Yeah, it was 2021. In quarantine is all I know.
Yeah.
And I was just really, really frustrated because I had no idea what I needed and who could help me. So, yeah.
So that's a very common experience. I experienced the same thing myself, and the majority of my clients that I work with, that's kind of the point they come to. It's like, I've tried everything that I thought I was supposed to do. So what made you ultimately decide to sign up with me?
The back spasms.
The
pain is a huge motivator. It got to the point where I was having back spasms during client calls. I was having back spasms when I tried to go for walks. But the biggest thing was just getting on a call with you and having you kind of explain why things were happening, and explain in a way that it was like, oh, so you're saying this isn't like something horrible. Like I was convinced I had bone cancer in my spine or something to make it hurt so bad.
Yeah.
And then you were just kind of explaining it to me, and like, this is what we'll do, and this is like why that's happening specifically. And it was just, one, it was really nice to be heard, and two, it was nice to have a solution that was not just, oh, that's just the way it is. So yeah.
So what are some of the tangible results that you've gotten from working together and working and being in the Scoliosis Strength Collective?
Well, I will say the biggest thing is a different source of information. Obviously, like the exercises and the one-on-one sessions are awesome, but honestly, other medical professionals have always kind of brushed scoliosis under the rug for me. So it was like, oh, okay, so this pain I am experiencing is because of my scoliosis. And oh, it actually probably has gotten worse, or I have done things to not support it. That's been really eye-opening for me, because I was just convinced that I was going to have to deal with this pain for the rest of my life. And it's just a crappy thing to think when I was 32 at the time. So I also think that just being inside the program and being even inside your Facebook group has been really validating to see how other people have experiences. Like I learned about clothes not fitting properly for other people, and it was like, oh my God, that's scoliosis. It's not just because I'm lumpy. Like it finally made sense. So it's just been really, really validating. But the biggest takeaway for me is I haven't had a back spasm from something that I didn't do to hurt myself. And like 7-8 months, I think.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's huge. That's so huge.
Yeah. Especially when you go from having them almost daily to not having them. And when you do have them, be like, what is happening right now?
That's really awesome to hear that. What would you say was like kind of an unexpected result that you've gotten from the program? So, something that you
You
weren't.
kick my butt. I don't know that I've lost any like pounds or weight per se, but I've definitely toned up a lot, and my core strength is like so much stronger, so much different than it used to be. I've never really had strength, so it's been really nice to have activities that I can do, exercises that I can do that target muscle groups without like affecting my heart, because I have a heart condition too. So it's just been really good for my mental health too, I think, to have that kind of workout that's not just like really frustrating too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What is something that you learned about yourself through this whole process? I mean, maybe that you already knew before, or something that's kind of.
I get a little sassy when you tell me to do things I don't want to do. um, I think the biggest thing that I've learned is how much pain I was actually in, that like I didn't even recognize, aside from the back spasms, obviously, because those were like debilitating, but it's gone from the point of like going for a walk was almost too painful for me to like I can work out twice a day and it doesn't hurt my back, it doesn't hurt the rest of my body. And that I can still work out in ways that like I've always thought that I couldn't, or I just assumed that all exercise was kind of unavailable to me because of my pain. So that's been really nice to figure out I can actually do and I can be active.
Yeah. So I know that you just recently started taking some additional Pilates classes. Like, what has it been like being able to like go and work in a capacity like that, and then, be able to be like, I have some knowledge about what I should and
Yeah.
shouldn't do.
It's actually really empowering to have that knowledge ahead of time, because even with, how awesome the Pilates instructors have been, they have maybe a more traditional approach to scoliosis, which is, oh, we do side bends and stretches and all those things that had I not worked with you, I'd have been like, yeah, let's do it, and then hurt myself. I've actually had to say, no, I'm not going to do that. Or I brought my wedges a couple of times, or just I've been able to say like, actually, I can't go any further on this extension or whatever it is, because I have much more awareness of my scoliosis and the corrections that I need to make. And I will say the other thing is that I think I get a better, more targeted, more even workout because I can do my corrections. What I assume are my corrections. They might not be the most like perfect corrections, but they're way better than they would have been without me knowing them. And I think that that's helped a lot with just building my strength overall instead of me injuring myself, because that's definitely what I did before with yoga and other activities.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's huge. What would you tell somebody who might be on the fence about enrolling in the Scoliosis Strength Collective, who's a little bit.
I told everybody I know with scoliosis that they need to do it. I think the biggest thing is that there are so many things that we deal with in a day that we just kind of assume we have to deal with. And I think when you have more awareness of your body, and when you have more awareness of the techniques that can help you adjust your body in those situations, you can have a much more fulfilling experience, whether it's working out or going on a trip or just walking with your kids or whatever it is. We deal with a lot of pain and a lot of discomfort that I don't think a lot of people understand. And this sort of support has been just life-changing for me. And I don't have kids or, any larger physical requirements of my body. So I definitely think that's worth it for anybody who wants to just not be in pain all the time.
Well, I appreciate you sharing your experience with me and with everybody. It's been a pleasure working with you. So thanks for taking the time to do this.
Of course.